Movie news. Yes, indeed. Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. This is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the big movie news headlines of the day. Yes, movie news. And what are those headlines? Well, we're going to be talking about the menu today that came out this weekend, and I'm going to do my big review for it. We got some headlines with some stars like Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, Nicolas Cage is going to be in a Western. But we start off today's show by talking about Steven Spielberg and Bullitt. Now, I realize we start off by talking about today's movie news about Steven Spielberg, and because he's working on a Bullitt. Is it going to be a remake though? Let's just take a look. Bradley Cooper to play Frank Bullitt in Steven Spielberg's new original movie based on the classic Steve McQueen character. So is it going to be a reboot, remake? Not really, I don't think. No, at least that's not what the title says. Okay, but Bradley Cooper he's a pretty talented actor, and we know that Spielberg is he's going to be a legend, right? A director. So, okay. Steve McQueen starting in the original, and let's just see what's going on here with this story. Josh Singer is on board to pen the script. Josh Singer. Okay, and Cooper will also produce alongside with Spielberg. Okay, and Cooper's going to put some of his own money into this. And sources are adamant this is not a remake. So there you go. Adamant that this is not a remake of the original film, but a new idea centered on the character. In the original film, Frank Bullitt is a no-nonsense San Francisco cop on the hunt for the mob kingpin that killed his witness. Okay. Have you guys actually seen Bullitt? Giovanni says hi. Hey, how's it going, man? Have you actually seen Bullitt? It's an older film. We'll pull up the IMDb here before we continue on here. Steve McQueen, 1968. So he's a San Francisco cop, and it's going to be about his character. So it's not going to be a remake. Very interesting. Who else was in this? Any other big names that jump out at me? Jacqueline Bisset, Robert Vaughn. Okay, well that sounds familiar. Robert Duvall was in that. Okay. Ed Peck. All right. So we saw the synopsis of this one. So this will be a continuation of this character, Bullitt, and okay, well, fascinating. He just wrapped up The Fabelmans, right? And then he's going to be working on this Bullitt movie. He'll be hopefully going back to some of that kind of thriller, kind of action kind of thing, right? Hopefully that'll be kind of cool from Spielberg. Why not? You know, he just recently talked about some of the passion projects that he had left in his tank that he would like to try a Western, and maybe, hey, you know what, some of these like thriller kind of things. Steve McQueen character, Frank Bullitt. Let's see what's some comments here. We got some comments. Hopefully they're not too salacious. I don't see how they could be though. I want to see Leo and Cooper acted out in a square. Okay, that's irrelevant. Bradley Cooper is nowhere near as masculine enough for something like this. What? Seriously? He's a pretty boy. Okay, so they want to attack him at his looks, right? Some guy named Frank. Okay. This is not going to work. Okay, well, we're not bringing into politics into this. Note to Spielberg. No green Volkswagen Beetles in the car chase. See. Okay, yeah, because he's got this thing about putting old cars in it, right? What is Spielberg doing? Says Mitzi Fabelman. Fabelman's is a massive creative miss. Okay, so it's just somebody who wants to poo-poo over everything. Wow, that's not the kind of reactions that I thought I would see from this. I guess, I'm sure there's got to be somebody in those comments that was kind of stoked about this. Bit of movie news here. Bradley Cooper and Steven Spielberg seems like it would be a cool pairing. But by those comments, the initial impressions are not good. I don't know why. It sounds like it's going to be cool. If you've seen Bullitt, you would probably want to see more story of this character. But Bradley Cooper's going to be playing it. Why not? That's the way I think about it. I say Spielberg, you know, even his films that you don't like West Side Story, I guess, well, actually, that one did do so good at the box office. I shouldn't mention that one. Let's just move on to the next story. This one came out a couple days ago, and it really wasn't that much, guys. So we'll just address it now. Escape from New York reboot. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, too, but I just want to clarify. I don't know why all the headlines are saying from Scream directors, radio silence directors. It's kind of like, just tell me the names, guys. Like, why are you hiding behind this moniker here? And you'll recognize the names: Matt Bettinelli, Open, and Tyler Gillette. And I guess this also guy named Chad Villella will replace as directors. Well, see, and the thing is I don't even know if this is going to actually happen. And there's talks that perhaps Kurt Russell could come back in this one. I haven't really heard that much substantiating that this is actually going to happen. Reboot moves forward, though, apparently from these directors. So they did the new Scream, and they're doing Scream 6. So they've had a hit. I guess Ready or Not was the big one that really put them on the map. Devil's Due was awful. And I guess they've done a few VHS segments. Devil's Due was awful. It was one of the worst horror films of that year. And I know my horror because I love that franchise, like that genre, sorry. But Ready or Not, Samara Weaving was a real standout in that film, where they just have like a wedding party and then they end up killing each other and stuff like that because they got to make sacrifices to some demon. And it goes off the rails pretty quickly and is bloody, gory. A lot of people liked it. Andy McDowell was in that too. Fascinating. So those guys will be taking over the helm of the next, well, they say reboot here, but I don't think it is. I think it's just going to be one of those movies that continues on the story in that universe kind of thing, right? I think that's what they're going for, just like that Bullitt movie with Steven Spielberg that we just talked about. But it would be kind of cool to see Snake Plissken again in some capacity. Kurt Russell, he can still pull that off, I think, somehow, if he was kind of like the older kind of mentor of, like the last survivor trying to get out of some other new place, Earth maybe, who knows? You never know with these things. It just, okay, I just wanted to clarify because I was not liking the headline saying adds Scream directors, adds radio silence directors. It's like, what the heck? Just give me their names. Give me their names. Because I need the movie news here, and I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, guys, if you don't know how this works, we're a live news show that does the movie news headlines daily, 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday, and you can follow me on all the other social media handles right there. You know those little shorts that we publish? You can sometimes see extended versions of those on TikTok and Instagram. Well, in fact, yesterday, I came out of the menu, and it was up on TikTok first, but it's up on the channel now, so there you go, right? You'll be able to check that, and we'll be doing a full review here for the menu in just a few moments. But I just wanted to bring that to your attentions as we go through the movie news headlines of the day. Chris Hemsworth has come up a couple of times this week because of his new show that he's going to be filming, and it's kind of a bummer news for Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth receives strong indication of genetic predisposition to Alzheimer's while filming new show. And yeah, this show Limitless, it's like he's doing a bunch of stunts, right? Trying to like spike his adrenaline, swimming in the Arctic, climbing up sides of skyscrapers and hanging off helicopters, that kind of stuff. But I guess he did some blood work for this stuff, and it's being reported that he's got a gene that's going to, well, sadly, leave him with the high potential that he'll get Alzheimer's. It's only predisposition, though, and hopefully medical science will come along. We'll be able to fix things like that. I hope so, because that's going to be fairly ominous, right? Because he says in the quote here for this article that's up on CNN that, this went into for the blood to see, what his cholesterol and stuff was like so that they could measure his responses to some of these stunts. And then the doctor just happened to catch this gene. And man, that sucks. He's fine now, guys. He's going to be fine. for a while, and hopefully for a long while, and they'll find a way to fix this kind of thing. And it may not even happen to him, but he's going to be likely for that, and that sucks. That sucks, man. Well, here's to good health, man. All right, what's next? Anya Taylor-Joy and Nicolas Hoult are starring in The Menu. Let's talk about them first, because we've got a couple of big interviews that were up on Hollywood Reporter. The Menu star Anya Taylor-Joy talks becoming more selective in her life-changing experience on Furiosa. We talked about Furiosa yesterday, where she doesn't have a driver's license, but she did some stunt driving for that. So that's cool. And yeah, look. For God's sake, she takes a, like, could she, like, there's no way that she would ever take a bad picture. I mean, my God. And she was good in The Menu. She was really good. So we'll talk about that in a few moments. But there's a couple of big articles up on Hollywood Reporter that have some very interesting highlights in here, where she talks about Furiosa. She talks about The Menu. So if you are interested in that kind of stuff, guys, I would go over and check that out, read that stuff. Is there a certain food that you get rather particular about in terms of how it's cooked or prepared? Well, she likes Barossa cheese. She likes Barossa cheese. I think for most people, they like their steak or they like their eggs prepared a certain way, right? Yeah. For the thing I gloomed over Margot is that she was always looking for the exits in any given situation. And yeah, that comes apparent when you watch the movie. That's slightly spoiler, so maybe we shouldn't go into a lot of this article. Let's see if she said something. I think the Furiosa stuff was towards the bottom here, if I remember this correctly. Okay, still talking about cooking stuff. It's a rather lengthy article. And yeah, they were together in Fury Road. No, he was in Fury Road, and she's going to be in Furiosa. So that's the kind of bridge there that was kind of cool to see. Yeah. Okay, so not much in that one for Furiosa. I already kind of highlighted that too. And then Nicolas Hoult also had a big thing in here where they tried to ask him about his upcoming picture Renfield with Nicolas Cage and Dracula and stuff like that. But then they also go into a rather lengthy discussion talking about food. And what does it mean to you? And what was your favorite piece of food? And, okay, he's not kissing him here. He's just whispering something to him. Though we may talk about that in spoilers tomorrow. We may talk about that in spoilers for tomorrow's show. Rest, relax. What the heck is that? Is that? Sorry. Yeah, there he is on Fury Road. So if you want to read those two articles, guys, very interesting stuff that they kind of like shed some light on The Menu if you've seen it. So that's why I wanted to talk about that before we go into my review here for The Menu, which I'll pull up and get ready here. I think we're ready to get going. And what's going to happen here is I'll cut this out and post this up later for just my normal standard review. Let's just make sure that I got all my pages here ready to go. And we've got the tomato meter. Good. Excellent. Let's talk about The Menu. The Menu stars Ralph Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Nicolas Hoult, and does the tale, well, let's just take a look at the IMDb here that says, a young couple travels to a remote island to eat in an exclusive restaurant where the chef has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises. And indeed, when you watch this trailer, it's kind of like, are they eating people? Are they hunting them for sport? What's going on here? You know that there's something off, right? And it starts with Anya Taylor-Joy and Nicolas Hoult's characters, and you're following them throughout this movie. And mostly you're following Anya Taylor-Joy. And you see it from her perspective. Now, is this a good movie? Yes, I think it is. I think it is a very good movie. And the acting is fairly good. It's got some really bold ideas. It challenges you. It's got a core theme going behind it that slowly gets revealed throughout the different courses that the chef, Ralph Fiennes, gives out to the customers. And that's kind of like the the big appeal to this. It's like, what is this all about? What's really happening? Are people getting murdered? Are they hunting them? What are they eating exactly, kind of thing? And once you find out what it is, what's going on, and what that statement is, it's kind of like, oh, well, that's kind of bold. Ray Fiennes is Chef Slowick, right? But it also has some other people like John Leguizamo, who plays the movie star. Judith Light is Anne. Um, and yeah, you'll recognize some of the other faces in here that are just kind of like the chefs, the cooks, the undercooks, right? And it's kind of got like that feeling of The Hunt a little bit, mixed in with, well, actually, we just talked about Ready or Not, with Samara Weaving. It's got a little bit of that kind of flavor in there too, because it's kind of like they're put into this really weird situation and you want to get out of it, but you're also kind of like fascinated with what's going on too, right? My initial impressions of it when I came out of the theater last night was kind of like, it's not the movie I thought it was going to be, and it's definitely not that, because the way that I sold it to you right now, you'll be expecting maybe that Hunt kind of thing feel, but it's like that in the tone of it, sort of, but it's also kind of like not quite what you expect. And once you realize that, it's kind of like, oh, it doesn't have that big wow factor. It has that factor where you're kind of like, oh, it's one of those movies that kind of sits with you and makes you go, do I like it? Do I not like it? Kind of like you would have eating a new dish at a restaurant. It'd be kind of like, well, that tastes kind of fun. And just kind of like, well, that scene kind of was interesting. I like the way that these two characters are working off of each other, because the Ray Fiennes and Anya Taylor-Joy do have some good scenes. And Ray Fiennes has a couple of really big monologues in this where it's kind of like, yeah, he's ominous. He's ominous. And once you figure out what's going on, that's the big thing that will resonate with you. It'll either really work for you or it won't. And it makes a huge statement about it too. And I think I kind of enjoyed that. Let's go over and see what it's ranking on the tomatoes meter right now. It's 91% by 125 critics. So 91 by the critics, 85 by the audience. And it's opening up this weekend, guys. So let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews and see what people are saying. Let's take a good one here from the Wall Street Journal. The dish being served here is perhaps too spicy for most. If you like your comedy as black as squid ink, however, there is a lot of lots to savor on this menu. So he's just trying to be quippy, and it didn't work because it didn't roll off the tongue. But you didn't read it well, James. Get bent. Anyway, let's take a look at a bad one here. Detroit News says the menu shows its hand early and leaves viewers salivating for a subversion of expectations, a la David Fincher's The Game that never arrives. Well, I'd never thought about David Fincher when I was watching this. I never even made that comparison. Nope, don't agree with that. It's just kind of like, the less you know about it, the better. But once you do I guess I sort of agree that once you sort of realize where it's going, it's kind of like, I don't know if I want to go down there, man. And it's, it's kind of bold. As I said, it's a statement. And we'll talk about it on spoilers tomorrow on the Horror Weekly Roundup, where we'll talk about some spoilers for the menu. It's a good show. It's a good movie, and is it gonna end up on my top 10 of the year list? No. Do I think it is as good as some of these critics are saying? 91%, 9 out of 10 is a little bit high for me, because it does have some issues, and the main glaring issue for me was that because they're going to this island to have this meal, it's basically over the course of one night, and because it's over the course of one night, you don't really have a lot of time to develop these characters. So if someone were to tell me that it was a little bit cardboard, like, that's the challenge of making a movie with a condensed time frame. And that's what you're going to have in the menu. So they've got a challenging uphill battle to convey character, but in a very condensed time frame. And that might be a little bit jarring for some people, but it's just the performances from Ray Fiennes and Anya Taylor-Joy. It's just like, yeah, they have got this banter between them throughout the entire movie, this kind of struggle between their ideologies, because she doesn't like the food, right? She doesn't like that higher class, elitism, and that's something that the film addresses. The elitism of the higher class foodies, and it's making a statement sort of about that too. So I enjoyed my experience with the menu, guys. I would probably give it an 8 out of 10 for the menu. What do you guys think about that? Are you going to go check it out this weekend? If you did, let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains. All right. So that'll be cut out and put up on the channel later on, guys. Yeah. Nicolas Hoult, I guess he was pretty standard. He plays kind of like the snob. He plays this like the snobby character. And I forget this actress's name who plays she plays like the or like the maitre d' kind of head chef. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, that's the start of the movie, and then they show some of the dishes and stuff like that. This lady. Oops, sorry, you guys can't see that. Yeah, this lady. What the heck is her name? I want to say Chow or Cho. She plays a very interesting character. Hong Chow. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, because she's kind of like the host, kind of guiding everybody into the dining room and stuff like that, setting things up. She's like the guide throughout it, and it's she plays it so kind of not deadpan, but you know that when she's talking to you, you ever talk to somebody like and they're just a little bit off? It's like, why are you showing me? Why are you telling me this? And you're kind of like, yeah, she did a very good job at that, at making you kind of feel a little bit uneasy. But then, yeah, there were like the snobs, the food snobbies in there. The Nicolas Hoult, Janet McTeer were food snobs. Just criticizing everything about every little part about the meals and stuff like that. It does have some shock value, guys. It definitely does, and we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow on the spoilers. I liked it, but as I said, I don't know if it's going to end up on my top 10 of the year. 7.5 out of 10. That's a little bit lower. I would say, yeah, I agree with my 8 out of 10 review for the menu, and the runtime is nice. It doesn't feel like it lags. That's good, right? It doesn't feel like it lags. It just moves along, and very interesting experience here. Mid-November. The only other movie coming out this weekend is something called She Said, and I don't know how well this one is going to do. I have no interest in watching this. This is about the investigative team that uncovered the scandal about the Harvey Weinstein that's going on right now. So it's kind of like, if his trial is going on now, it's just uncovering the evidence of and getting people to come and have their testimony against Harvey Weinstein. I know that he's a bad dude. I know he did all this horrible stuff to actresses. It's a little fresh for me that I don't really want to rehash that right away, because it's an ugly situation, right? I understand the value in them trying to champion that message of rising above that, telling your story, get the person charged with crimes and stuff like that. I understand all that, but for me, it's kind of like, I don't know if I really want to go down that road right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how much this one is going to have an impact at the box office. It's getting played in more theaters around here in town than the menu, because I got 4 big theaters with some smaller ones around as well, but some art house theaters. But the 4 main big theaters, the Cineplexes and the Landmarks, they're playing this more than they are the menu, and we'll have to see how that'll fare for the box office, because right now a lot of people are still going to go out and see Wakanda Forever, right? That's going to be the big draw this weekend. Let's just pull up last week's numbers and I'll see where this is going to fit. This is from last week, guys. So Black Panther, yeah, it's going to repeat. Remember, Black Panther, I think it just crossed like 300 million, right? 400 million. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, wow. So it's on its way. It's going to easily make its money back. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And that's the movie that people are going to go out and see this weekend. So between She Said and the Menu, you got to remember that these numbers here from 2 to 5 will be about chopped in half. The Menu and She Said are going to make more than 8 million for sure. But I'm hoping that the Menu will get up there. So I'm thinking Black Panther, Menu, She Said, Black Adam. Yeah, Black Adam's going to hang in there. And then I think Lyle Lyle Crocodile will be number 5 and Ticket to Paradise will drop out. But I could be wrong because that's the only other kids movie that's out right now. Lyle Lyle Crocodile. But yeah, I think that's what will happen. All right, let's get back into the movie news headlines and get the show rolling again. Okay. Jessica Chastain is in the headlines. Remember earlier this week we saw that she had a big, huge announcement. Well, that announcement happened to be this. Jessica Chastain to star in modern adaptation of A Doll's House on Broadway. So she's going to go back to the stage. Good for her. I love the stage. I worked on the stage, on stage crew, stuff like that, pulling the curtains and stuff like that, bringing in the flies. I love that experience. And kudos to her. So she's going back to Broadway, A Doll's House, with director Jamie Lloyd. Good for her. I just that headline got me because we saw that it was it her Twitter that said she's got a big huge announcement coming this week, and there it is. She's going back to Broadway. We like that. We dig that, right? Our Glass Spiking says in live chat, I hope Glass Onion makes a dent when it comes out. Yeah, that comes out next week. The 23rd that comes out, right? Glass Onion. It's only going to be in the theaters for a week, right? The 23rd to the 30th. So next Thursday, I'll be checking out next Wednesday, I'll be checking out Glass Onion. Let me just see if that's on my Cineplex charts. I got to remember that. And next Wednesday is also when Wednesday starts, right? Tim Burton. So remember, we're going to be doing full live watch-alongs for that. Yeah. Okay, Wednesday. I'm just looking at my Black Adam. She said, "Oh, Strange World also opens. Is that opening up this weekend? Strange World. So maybe that kid's movie will come out. Devotion is playing. That's that one with Jonathan Majors and the guy from Top Gun, right? Ticket to Paradise. Bones and All is coming out next week too. So that one will be big, and it's not playing at this Cineplex, huh? All right. Well, I'll hunt around for it. And I'm sure that I'll be able to find. I'm pretty sure that I saw that it was going to be playing at one of the theaters here. I'm just pulling up Landmark because they're a little bit more consistent on bringing out stuff from other theater, like lesser known stuff here. Ticket to Paradise, Menu. Oh, huh. Oh yeah, Glass Onion right there. 3:30. So I'm going to be seeing it next week for sure. Yeah, and Cineplex didn't have that. Why not Cineplex? Bummer. Strange World, Devotion. Yeah, I don't get it. Well, but Bones and All. So there'll be a couple things I want to see that Bones and All with Timothée Chalamet and that other girl that are like being hunted by Mark Rylance, right? In some kind of cult kind of thing. That's one I want to see. But I will be seeing Glass Onion right there. Looks like I'll be seeing it 3:30 Wednesday afternoon. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I put that on November. Whoops. Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. Sorry, we're pausing the show here. Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, I'll see you at 3:30 Wednesday. Okay. Channing Tatum is in the headlines. Let's go over and take a look at this. Something called Red Shirt. Interesting bit of movie news. Channing Tatum to star in Red Shirt, a James Bond-esque action movie from Deadpool 2 director Channing Tatum. David Leitch from Bullet Train director. Okay. Well, you know what? I had a lot of fun with Bullet Train. Seeing Channing Tatum work with him in an action film, why not? A new spin on James Bond. Well, people thought that they would go with a younger James Bond next. Well, I don't think Tatum would be a James Bond, but hey, if James Bond is going to be that property, and Barbara Broccoli and those producers are like, well, we got to wait and let us find the right James Bond, the right story, the right approach. And if they're not going to go with the younger Bond, somebody else might as well capitalize on that and go with that kind of that kind of approach, right? Why not Channing Tatum? David Leitch. Yeah. While the plot is currently unknown, the title Red Shirt could provide some clues. Okay. Red Shirt follow Tatum's so-called Red Shirt. Instead of dying, is the only one to survive and must pluck up the courage to become the leader in a James Bond-style adventure. Okay, so his red shirt is because he's probably got blood all over himself, right? Is that what it's kind of alluding to? All right. I'll keep my eye open for this. Yeah, Tatum will be up next in Magic Mike's Last Dance. That comes out in, was it February? Early February? Yeah, it was for Valentine's Day, right? But, okay. Channing Tatum. And then there's also talks I've seen out there that he may appear in Deadpool 3 because of this pairing, right? Which is a possibility, but I haven't been able to substantiate that with anything. It's just because they're still working on the script for Deadpool 3, guys. That comes from Ryan Reynolds himself, so we'll see. I'm sure if there's a way that we can get Channing Tatum in there in the Deadpool. Could we finally get to see Channing Tatum as Gambit? That would be cool. That's what I would want to see. Owen Wilson is going to be making a movie about a painter. And is it going to be Bob Ross? What? Paint. Owen Wilson channels Bob Ross in first look at upcoming comedy. So he's got the Bob Ross hair. He's got the shirt. Well, did Bob Ross wear it? He did the button-up shirts. But yeah, you can tell from the style of the painting there. I don't know if this is going to work, though, man. Because the legion of fans that Bob Ross has, they may not stand for this. Because it's a comedy called Paint. Paint follows Owen Wilson as Carl Nargle, a TV painter highly reminiscent of Bob Ross. Okay, so I don't know if he's trying to maybe copy Bob Ross. Maybe, who knows? Clearly inspired by the story of the late Bob Ross. Okay, so it's inspired by him. Television painter hosting a public TV show in Vermont, who is threatened when a young painter comes into the picture. Okay, so he's established and then a younger painter comes in and one-ups him kind of thing, right? Yeah, that could be kind of fun. We like Owen Wilson, right? We liked him as Agent Mobius in Loki. Paint follows Cargill #1 television painter who's convinced he has it all, a signature perm, custom van, and fans hanging on his every stroke until a younger, better artist steals everything and everyone Carl loves. Well, actually, guys, if you don't know the Bob Ross story, that's almost sort of what really actually happened. I don't know if I like that, though. Except Bob Ross wasn't the one that was being stolen from. He stole it from somebody. I don't. It depends on your point of view. I don't want to get into all that stuff because I like Bob Ross. You can tell that I do, right? That's where I learned my style. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Nicolas Cage is going to be in a Western, and the first trailer for that dropped. It's called The Old Way. And I think this is the one where he had that horse that didn't like him, right? What's this about? The Old Way? An old gunslinger and his daughter must face the consequences of his past when the son of a man he murdered years ago arrives to take his revenge. Now, other than Nicolas Cage, it is Clint Howard, and I don't recognize too many other names in this. The one guy I thought was what is it, Jai Courtney, but it's not. Uh, this guy, I thought this guy looked a little bit like Jai Courtney, but he's the bad guy. The trailer dropped this morning. I did watch it, so let's go through some of the images here from it. He buries his wife, and then it's kind of like these bad people come into town, start causing a ruckus. He's just wanting to move on. I guess he was a gunslinger. He has been renowned for shooting people and stuff like that. And then when these bad guys killed these ranchers or something like that, there's a young girl there, and she runs away and finds her way to Nicolas Cage. And it kind of plays off a little bit like a Man on Fire, with Denzel, where the young girl meets the old guy who, teaches her a little bit of living on your own, fighting for yourself, standing up for yourself. He teaches her how to shoot. It's a classic fare kind of Western. It looked a little bit lower budget, but I kind of, it's Nicolas Cage. Why not? I thought it looked pretty decent. And I'm sure it's going to go down in the same kind of way maybe as Man on Fire, if you know how that ends. I could see that happening. But I thought it was kind of a cool trailer. I like Westerns every now and then. I thought it was Jai Courtney because he's got that pretty boy look to his face, even like with the beard on. I thought it was kind of like that. But the old way. Let's see what people are saying here in the comments. I love a good Western, and Nick Cage is a legend. Well, I agree with that. Let's hit that thumbs up button on that one. Academy Award winner Nicolas Cage gets me every time. Almost a Western version of John Wick. Yeah, a little bit like John Wick in the Western, but with Nicolas Cage. But yeah, it also has that Man on Fire. A little bit kind of like The Professional, but not the gross way of The Professional. Leon, The Professional, I'm talking about. Yeah, a little bit like Logan was, like that relationship of like the older guy mentoring the younger girl kind of thing. Cool trailer. When does this come out? Let's just answer that right now, James. Expected December 2022. So, did it say on the trailer there? I'm guessing that it's going to be on a streaming service. I don't see this coming out in the theaters then. And if it is, it's going to be in limited release. No, it doesn't say. Lionsgate. You think they would have enough cheddar to put that out? They got to put that out. And yeah, this has to be the one where I think they shot it in Alberta, and the horse that he rode on all the time apparently didn't like him and would try to kick him off, which sucks. But yeah, he had many tales that he would tell about that horse. And Nicolas Cage is always a stand-up dude, so I'll be looking at that I'll be looking at that for sure. Next up is hit or miss. So let's talk about some of these hit or miss headlines, guys. It's Friday. We'll go through some of these headlines kind of quickly if they don't appeal to me, and let's just see what's clicking with us and what isn't. First up, Marvel fans showing franchise fatigue, while DC fans more likely to prefer single superhero over universe. New fandom study. Is this? We kind of know that people are getting burned out with the slapstick comedy of the MCU, which Wakanda Forever did not do, so that's good. But this article just tries to put fandoms into like these buckets of the advocates, the intentionalists, the culturalists, the flirt, and it's basically just their way of saying, are they hardcore fans or are they casual fans? And I just felt like it was a big kind of waste of time. So this one I felt was a miss. But we can see that at least a little bit in the cultural zeitgeist that people are maybe slowly starting to burn out a little bit of these superhero films. A little bit, not much. because it's still good. Like Wakanda Forever, The Batman, it's definitely going to be up there as the better comic book movies of the year. Next up, Fast 10. This came out yesterday too. The budget reportedly nearing Avengers Endgame level expensive, and this guy's, I heard that's 356 million price tag. I'll be brutally honest with you guys. I've been off the Fast franchise for a long time now. I didn't even bother going to see the last one. I don't want to see the last one. I don't want to care. I don't even want to see this one. I know that I'm supposed to be this hardcore movie fan, and I'm supposed to see everything in the theater, but I know what this is about, and they just haven't wowed me in a while. So it's kind of like 356 million is not good, because the trajectory of the box office is slowly going down. Let's just go back to the seventh one. The seventh one had 1.5 billion. It was still, because number 5 and number 6 pointed the trajectory up like this. So number 7 was going to make a lot of money regardless, and it was going to be Paul Walker's final film. So it had a few other things going for it. But then number 8, only 1.2 billion. So people were starting to realize, do we like that? Do we not like that? And then the last one, number 9, only made 726. So they've already spent half the. Oh God! Imagine if Fast 10 only made 500 million. Imagine that. Imagine if it did. I think that this one's a mess. I don't care about this franchise anymore. It needs. I'm sorry. I know it's got its fan base, but I'm tired with it. Yeah, it's time to move on. And that one's a miss for me. Hollywood Reporter, R.I.P. Twitter is trending. Chaos, confusion, and gallows humor hits Twitter. Yeah, because Twitter had this big thing, and this affects us because it's up on Hollywood Reporter, right? And it also affects what we do at the end of the days with the Twitter roundup. This weekend, I guess they've closed a bunch of offices, and they are not allowing workers in because yesterday there was an ultimatum to the employees saying, you got to sign this, you got to agree to this waiver to work more hours with no pay and work harder, or you can accept this 3-month severance package. And most of people said, well, I'll take my severance package. See ya. Bye-bye, Elon. And that's what I would do. Just an analogy I heard was, imagine if you worked at McDonald's or something, right? Minimum wage. And then all of a sudden they say, well, if you want to continue working here, you're going to have to work another 20 hours a week with no pay. That's ridiculous. No, you wouldn't do that. So why would you think that somebody working in the tech sector would do that for Twitter? And if they're talented people like engineers, software engineers, they've got other talents. It's like they can go to another team, like in sports. I'm keeping my eye on this mostly because we're watching Elon Musk drive this company into the ground, and it's stunning. It's stunning to watch. It's a spectacle, and it's kind of like every worst decision that he's writing the textbook on how to bankrupt a company, not how to make it successful. It's just audacious, and this one's a hit for me because, as I said, we do the Twitter roundup every day, and people are bowing out. They've lost 88% or something of their workforce, and I would expect a complete collapse or bankruptcy, and he's going to just sell it and get rid of it, and then somehow they'll try to rebound it because he's got to get off this, and he's going to lose that 44 billion that he bought it for. People are slowly realizing that he's not the big smart guy that everybody thought that he was. He got, I wouldn't say lucky with Tesla or anything like that, but he had the components in place that would protect him from, because you hear stupid things on here, and he said it himself in quotes that hey, if you criticize he came in on an interview and said, I just fired all the people that made fun of Twitter on social media that would still work for the company. It's kind of like, nobody, you want to work for that guy? I don't care how much, and he's not going to pay you that much. He's saying that he's not going to pay you that much, but you have to work more hours. No, man. No, nobody wants to do that ever. He's going to go down in history as one of the biggest oafs of our times. Elon, that's your legacy, man. Elon made PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, Twitter as a layup for you. 44 billion as a layup? As a layup? It's just, it's dumbfounding to me. It's just, I don't understand it. Yeah, and I would agree with you, Bifer, about the fact that he was behind those things like Tesla and stuff, but he, just, my God. All right, another disaster too is Ticketmaster. We talked about this yesterday too. So I guess because Ticketmaster was being flooded with people trying to buy tickets for Taylor Swift's concert, I guess they canceled Taylor Swift's tour public ticket sales. So they've kind of closed it down. Now, Taylor hasn't said anything about this because she just added a whole bunch of dates on, and I guess it crashed the market because Ticketmaster is the only place apparently in the States where you can buy tickets. And that shouldn't be because they got a monopoly on it. This sucks too. Because Ticketmaster, yeah. I think this one's kind of a miss. We talked about this one during the week due to high demand. And Taylor Swift is just so happened to, if it wasn't her and her concert tour that's coming out, it would be another band that this would happen to, right? Because they just don't have the infrastructure behind their company to make this happen. And if normally in the past, if this platform isn't working, people go over to another platform and get their tickets from them. But Ticketmaster has kind of monopolized everything, bought up everything, so you have to go through them. And you can't get it from anywhere else. So that sucks. Yeah, I'm not a big, as you can tell, I'm not big on corporations owning everything. All right. I think that's it for today. Oh, yeah, there was one more thing. Guys, if you didn't know, we do full live watch-alongs for Star Wars Andor on Wednesdays. And next Wednesday will be the season finale for Andor. And I think because Wednesday starting up next week, the season finale for Andor might be in the morning on Wednesday. But this interesting article came up that I want to kind of look at. It caught my eye. The headline, at least, is that a lightsaber Luthen had in Andor. Because when he goes to see Saw, and was it last episode? He had kind of like this looking glass kind of thing. I thought it was like a looking glass, but people have said, was that a lightsaber? Throwing out the idea that maybe he's force sensitive because he was really skilled at getting away from the Empire in his ship. And we haven't really addressed that yet in the show because there are force sensitive people around. Is Luthen force sensitive? Is he maybe a Jedi that stepped away? I don't know. And could that have been a lightsaber? I don't know. The handle looks a little bit long, but it could have been disguised, right? It's possible. But if we learned anything from the Obi-Wan show, remember Obi-Wan told the other Jedi on Tatooine, go bury your lightsaber, because you don't want to have that connection to it when the Inquisitors are coming around, right? So maybe not. But it was an interesting headline, and it made just some food for thought that made me go, well, it's possible. It's possible. I think Luthen may bite the bullet in the finale. I think he may. Who knows, though? He's been very good. So it'd be kind of cool to see that character move on. And hopefully last a couple more seasons, because He's a cool part of the show. Okay, guys, I think that's all I had in here. The only other news that I wanted, some personal news. Um, I've been uh, because House of the Dragon's done. I've been mulling over if I want to renew my subscription for Crave or Amazon Prime. And everybody's been talking about this show Peripheral. I do like Chloe Grace Moretz as an actress, and it looks like it's one of those far out shows. Because I'm looking for new shows. Next week we'll have Wednesday starting up, and maybe I'm thinking about doing Peripheral, and renewing my Amazon Prime for to do Peripheral. Because I think I'm mulling over one of the two. I don't want to do both right now. We'll have to see. Because I hear good things about it, and I want to check it out. I'm sure this article goes into spoilers, but we'll have to see. Maybe next week we'll start into that. I'll order it on the weekend and get it renewed and refreshed, and we'll do that. And then you guys can recommend some other stuff on Prime that we'll be able to go to. All right, let's finish out the day. We're at 12:55, and we'll take a look at the Twitterverse. Oddly enough. If it's working. I hear that some people weren't able to get it working because yeah, that's what happens. Okay. New Instagram. Okay, so the film updates is moving to Instagram and TikTok. Maybe they're getting smart here and putting the things in place in case Twitter does crash. See, it's even saying here, RIP Twitter, over 1 million tweets. Not good, man. Not good. Jeremy Renner's trending. We'll take a look at that in a few moments. Andrew Garfield on chicken shop date. Actually, let's do the Jeremy Renner. See what's going on with that first. Jeremy Renner. What is it? I don't understand what this is. Was he a spokesperson for Twitter or something at one time? I don't know. This is the time for Jeremy Renner app. I don't know what that is. Okay, so it's nothing news. But yeah, RIP Twitter, 1 million tweets. What the heck is this interviewer wearing? Okay. Well, anyway, Andrew Garfield. Sydney Sweeney and Joseph Quinn. Okay, at GQ. Yeah. I haven't seen Sydney Sweeney in anything yet. White Lotus. Patrick Dempsey. Okay. Got nothing against Patrick Dempsey. I liked him in Scream 3. Bowman. I don't even know who the heck that is. Hollywood Reporter. Stars. First look at English Woman's. Lioness. Disenchanted. Is that all on Disney Plus this weekend? Debuts with 42% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's not good. Yeah, that's not good. You guys still here? Don't know what that is. If we're going down, I'm posting whatever I want, says Oscar Isaac. Yeah, apparently it's the wild west right now on Twitter because there's no monitors, right? The people that should be working those jobs, you can post in pretty much anything that you want. Which means hate speech. Menus out 92%. Yeah, we know that. Bradley Cooper, Steven Spielberg, covered that. Brendan Fraser or not, if he will return to the Mummy movie. Absolutely. Do you have a script? Yeah, it was great fun. Are you kidding? Yeah, he'd go back to the Mummy. I think people would like to see that. Strange World. So yeah, maybe Strange World does open this weekend. I don't know. Today, Black Panther. Strange World open today. I'm not going to go see it. Sorry guys. You know, grown adult seeing a kids movie in the theater, it just doesn't look good. Let's go back to the Twitter. I think that's pretty much it for today anyway. Jake Gyllenhaal attends Strange World premiere. Oh, hey, you know he's hawking this cologne Prada Ocean. Don't get it. It's awful. I had a spray of it the other day. I was in the Bay, which is like a department store, and I was just around wasting time, and I was like, well, I seen that commercial for Jake Gyllenhaal in that Prada thing, so I'll go. I had to go. I can almost still smell it on me, but it smelled fine at first, but then after a couple hours, it had like a really awful, like bad BO smell to it, like sweat smell. I was kind of like, but I'm not sweating. It's cold outside. My God. It's like, no. Oh, Ocean, Prada. Sorry. Jake Gyllenhaal. Not a big fan of that product. Just a fun little story there on the side, guys. And this twit here too. FTX. He doesn't care, so I don't care about him. GQ, more GQ. Okay, so it's not really not many other big movie news headlines. Will Poulter. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's it for today, guys. It's a good weekend. I'll cut out my little short there, and I think we will go and do a chess match here in just a little bit. After I get everything up, I'm just checking, make sure my Facebook, or sorry, my YouTube doesn't have any new trailers out. No, we don't. All right, guys, that's it. Join us tomorrow for the horror roundup, where we'll be talking about some menu spoilers. See how gory it actually was. Actually, it was pretty gory. In some spots it was, for sure. And if not, enjoy your weekend. Go and see the menu. Yeah, it's worth it. If you've already watched Wakanda Forever, the menu, it's definitely worth a wow. All right, guys, see you next time on Mirror Domains.